Hey guys, my name is Panasyok and I travel to tropical islands. I spearfish and I hunt. I practice bushcraft and I constantly test my survival skills. But today I will spend 24 hours by the lake at the foot of the volcano. I will try to get a trophy fish using a Hawaiian pole spear and cook my prey in a primitive smokehouse made of eucalyptus leaves. And of course you are wondering what I am going to use today for my survival. Let me show you what I've got. Here is a homemade crab trap, my Swiss knife, a fire starter, a mask and a snorkel, and of course a Hawaiian pole spear. It's kind of a primitive shotgun for underwater hunting that I made with my own hands. Look at the beautiful sunrise, which means only one thing: my survival has begun. Last night, I managed to catch one large crab at crab trap, and I want to cook it in the morning. And also to show you how my trap works and make some modifications and try to catch fish with it. I've only been catching crabs in the last few episodes, and I already miss the taste of fish a lot. And that is why today, I'm going to the lake. The lake was formed at the foot of the volcano in one of the craters. Look what a beauty I managed to catch tonight, all with the help of this little bamboo basket. Look how big his claw is, but during the day he is not active at all. The first thing I need to do is to make fire. And I will need my Swiss knife for that. It rained a little this morning and all the branches are wet, which makes it more difficult for me. First, I have to clean off the part of the tree that got wet during the rain and get to the dry fibers of the tree. I remove the wet bark and I get to the dry core, and at the same time, I will use the bark to the start of my fire. I use cotton as a tinder. We need to add some more shavings. I will also need dry, thin branches to make a fire. And the branches that are not wet I am going to put further from the ground so that the wind can blow through these branches. I stack them on my lava brazier, and on the side, I'll try to start a small fire, which I will later turn into the main fire. In order to light the tinder, I will need a flamethrower. Using the back of a little saw, that is a part of my Swiss knife, I cut a spark out of the flint. The most important thing is to get a small fire, and once you have it, even damp wood will gradually burn, evaporating moisture, and dry fibers will gradually burn stronger. Cotton catches fire very quickly and easily, but this is not enough to set firewood on fire. Everything is wet and damp, but I don't give up. It's very important to get a fire to cook my prey. No one said it would be easy, but I'm not giving up. I'll add more dry shavings. And now I finally get my first fire, and with it I will build the main fire. The sun is up and it's getting hot. Now let me show you in more detail exactly how the mechanism in my crab trap works. As you can see, the main element of the trap is the entrance door. It is not perfect, but it works and it helped me to catch this monster. So this door is pulled by a little rubber band. I just tie the rubber band around the door and that's enough. I tie a rope to the top of the door and put it inside the trap. and inside I have a small branch tied to this rope. With one side of this branch I attach to the trap. And I hold the long pot with my hand, then to this branch, which is the trigger. I adjust another long branch and make a spacer on the inside of the trap. Well, now I'll show you how this mechanism works. Let me show on a crab. I charge this fuse again, make a spacer with the second branch, and it's done. So here's Mr. Crab. He goes into my trap and touches this spacer with his claw. The trigger goes off and the door closes and our prey is trapped. And the fire is already gradually burning. It is possible to cook my prey. But the crab must be sedated beforehand. Since the wood is raw, the fire burns slowly. But this is good because my task is to smoke crab meat. And that's why I used eucalyptus wood for my fire. While the crab is frying and smoking, I want to try using this crab trap as a fish trap and set it underwater to attempt catching some fish. I use a piece of lava as a weight to prevent the trap from floating. But to make it more interesting for you, I'm placing my video camera in this trap so you can see what's happening underwater. I submerge the trap into the water, hoping to catch both big and small fish. The depth turns out to be quite deep, and I can't reach the bottom with my hand, so I release the trap to let it sink underwater. So, my friends, do you think any fish will get caught in this trap without bait or not? Write your predictions in the comments. Why did I descend to the lake? Because tonight, I want to engage in night underwater hunting once again, using my primitive Hawaiian pole spear, hoping to catch another big fish by the end of the season and smoke it on eucalyptus leaves. Eucalyptus wood burns very weakly, but it produces excellent smoke and heat because eucalyptus trees contain a lot of essential oils that smoke well and give a delicious smoky aroma to the dish. There are very few places near the lake where you can set up camp. It's all cacti, thorns, and sharp lava everywhere. But between two trees, I managed to set up my hammock where I can spend the night. While the crab is getting ready, I'll take a little break. The smell of crab doesn't let me rest. I'm very hungry, and it smells delicious. After 10 minutes, my crab is ready. It's time to taste it. Look at how big its claw is. There must be a lot of meat in it. Just look at this color. The outer part even sticks to my fingers because of the eucalyptus oil. I can already imagine how tasty the smoked fish will be if I manage to catch it tonight. Using a knife, I'll crack open the claws and extract the delicious, juicy meat from them. The claw is very big, and there's plenty of meat in it. The only thing I really don't like about this lake is that there are so many flies here. They crawl everywhere, in my eyes, in my mouth, on my food. It's a bit annoying and prevents me from fully satisfying my hunger and enjoying the moment. But the crab was very tasty, the meat juicy and even sweet, and the smoky smell and eucalyptus aroma are beyond words. In my opinion, this tree is just perfect. The crab's meat isn't only in the large claws, but also in its body. Each leg has a piece of meat on it. The crab is very tasty, so I eat every last bit of it. By the way, I wish you a pleasant appetite too. I've moved the crab trap, which I'm currently using as a fish trap, a little deeper and closer to the grass. I noticed there are more fish there, and I thought it would give me a better chance of catching something. And now, let's see together what's happening underwater. Almost immediately, a small fish became curious about what's underwater here, surrounded and closely inspected my trap. But then, something happened that I didn't expect. And there it goes. My camera detached and simply fell off. When I finished eating, it was time to retrieve the trap from underwater. Maybe I caught something. What do you think? Is there anything there or not? The trap wasn't underwater for long. Perhaps the fish didn't have time to get used to it yet. Or maybe I still need to use some bait inside. In any case, I'll improve this trap and make it more versatile. On land, I'll catch crabs or some small birds, and underwater, I'll use it as a fish trap. But my main mission today is night underwater hunting in the lake formed in the crater of a volcano. And for this, I'll use a mask with a snorkel and of course, a Hawaiian pole spear. I just need to sharpen it a bit after the last hunt, and for that, I'll use a small fragment of lava. Well, it's getting dark already, so I'll hide the trap to not mess around with it and get ready for underwater hunting. Just look at those clouds around the volcano. It's mesmerizing. The sun gradually dipped below the horizon, and night fell. I put on my Hawaiian pole spear and dive underwater. The water was icy, very cold and murky. But this time, I had much more experience, so even in such dark and murky water, I could orient myself better. I searched for small caves in those fragments of hardened lava. That's where the fish were. In one of the first caves, I found a small tilapia and easily caught it. I swim further exploring the underwater world, but I noticed that the big fish were deeper. Descending deeper, I spot another larger tilapia in front of me. And fueled by adrenaline, I hastily take a shot. It wasn't entirely accurate. I hit the fish but didn't secure it. I couldn't afford to lose this trophy. Instantly, without a rubber band, I attack again and pin it down. Now it's crucial to retrieve the fish and manage my air supply correctly. Especially since I swam into a small cave with sharp hardened lava overhead. In my hands, I have potential prey. I grab the fish with my hand and rise to the surface to take a breath. The catch is in my hands, but it doesn't mean I've caught it yet, because just as I relaxed to film and show you, the trophy fish twitched and slipped out of my hands. Fortunately, it didn't swim far, and I immediately spotted it again and firmly grabbed it with both hands. Now it's definitely mine. Mission accomplished, and the trophy is caught. Now I know what I'll be smoking tomorrow, and there I see bamboo ahead, which is a good sign. And sure enough, underneath it was another big tilapia. But by the time I chose the right angle to attack it, it quickly vanished into the murky water. Another trophy missed. I swim on, peering into the dark water attentively. And here, I was very surprised to see before my eyes a fish exactly like the one I once had in an aquarium. Does anyone know what it's called? I swim on, see another tilapia, but it's quite small. And this one is more interesting, but I couldn't catch it because I damaged the tip of my Hawaiian pole spear quite badly. It bent, and now it's not working well. A couple more mishaps and it'll break completely. Another fish, I hit it, but it slips off my tip again. Also, I've had problems because my tip consists of 2 sharp fragments and the fish simply gets between them. That's why often spear have tips with 3 fragments, but I did manage to catch this tilapia. This lake is quite an aggressive environment for underwater hunting. Besides the cold, icy and murky water, sharp, hardened lava, and deep caves, there are also clusters of huge cacti with big sharp spines underwater. And at the moment when I surface, if I don't look up in time, I might bump into them and injure myself quite badly. And under the water, it could lead to an infection. I definitely didn't expect to encounter this underwater, so always be on guard during underwater hunting. I'm freezing badly, so I'll come out and warm up. The fish is definitely over 1 kilogram, which is quite large for tilapia. Friends, even despite the protective suit, I'm terribly cold, just terribly cold. But most importantly, there's prey, and it's big. It's a well-deserved trophy. Even with such a mini primitive spear, you can catch a monster. It took me a few tries. I hope it's visible on the video, but it's huge. For tilapia, it's definitely a trophy. The largest tilapia I've ever caught. Wow. First, I made a fire and warmed up a bit, cleaned my fish and dipped it in the lake. I'm using the reserve of salt I obtained by primitive methods. I'm salting it. It's time to go to bed. Morning has come. To be honest, I didn't sleep much as usual. But it's okay, I'll catch up on sleep later. To smoke my fish, I want to make a grill out of lava, so I found some small lava fragments and packed them in my backpack. Moving on. Surviving barefoot is a terrible idea. Something bit me on the leg and now it's swollen and hurts quite a lot. My shoes didn't survive until the end of this season, which is why I'm walking barefoot. I won't smoke the fish by the lake, there are way too many flies here. So I'm heading into the pine forest. Along the way, I'll gather some more eucalyptus branches and leaves. They'll be the base of my smoker, imparting a unique, smoky aroma to my fish. At one point, I even wanted to climb a tree to gather more leaves, but the tree was too wet and slippery. I decided not to waste my energy and found a bush at the bottom, from which I collected a few more eucalyptus leaves. Meanwhile, my right leg was hurting and swelling more and more. Eucalyptus is actually a very useful find. Its leaves can even be used as medicine, for example, for making inhalations. Additionally, these leaves can be steeped to make a makeshift sauna somewhere in the cold forest at the foot of the volcano. In any case, it's a multifunctional and useful plant, so I'll gather as many dry and wet leaves from it as I can. I also need to find a convenient place to build a fire and cook my catch. To prepare the fish, I need to start a fire. In the damp forest, this is very difficult but possible. First, I'll gather some firewood. Despite being wet outside, they're dry and crumbly inside. I'll use this fluff as tinder to make starting the fire a bit easier. Now, it's time to prepare the fish. It's been marinating overnight. I'll clean it a bit more with a knife and add some salt. That's the good piece of meat I'll be cooking today. The salt is coarse-grained, so I'm not afraid of oversalting. The fish will absorb just as much as it needs. Therefore, I sprinkle generously and densely with salt. I need to find a few more dry branches. The fire is burning. I have a couple of limes left in my backpack. I'll cut them in half with a knife and generously pour the fish with juice, both outside and inside. Done. While the fire is burning, the fish will marinate a bit more. The fire burns slowly because the wood is damp, but that's good. I don't need intense heat. I'll level the coals a bit with a stick and prepare the grill. On top of the coals, I'll lay out eucalyptus leaves. They'll gradually smolder and produce a good dense smoke, which I'll use to smoke my fish. On top of the leaves, I'll lay out small fragments of lava so that the fish can be placed on top of them. And when the leaves burn out, the fish won't directly contact the coals and won't burn. Now, on top of the lava, I'll place my catch. The leaves immediately started to smoke upon contact with the coals. I'll lay out the remaining eucalyptus leaves on top of the fish. From the heat, they'll also release their aroma to the upper part of the fish and thus will block the oxygen access. The lower leaves won't ignite. The smoker immediately kicked in. So that the smoke doesn't escape, I'll take these large leaves and cover the smoker on top to additionally hold the smoke cloud over the fish. The leaves immediately started to release oil, and the smoker began to smoke heavily. Look at the smoke cloud hovering over my fish. I'll check the fish. It looks juicy. Just another 10 minutes and it'll be ready. I need to keep an eye on the process because the bottom leaves will start to burn and I'll need to replace them in time. So, I'll transfer the fish to a plate. Place the upper eucalyptus leaves under the fish from below. And flip the fish to the other side. I'll cover the smoker back up with these leaves. The fish is already a golden color and the smell is spreading throughout the forest. It's a very delicious aroma. The smoker works very well. There's really nothing complicated about it. After another 10 minutes, the fish is ready. I'll wait a bit for it to cool down and then enjoy it. It looks very juicy and appetizing. With the help of such a primitive smoker, I quickly managed to cook a large fish. And it turned out to be just as good in taste as from a professional smoker with quality smoking chips. It's really easy and very tasty, my friends. The taste of smoke. So delicious, incredibly tasty. Tilapia itself is a very tasty and fatty fish, and when I smoke it like this, friends, I officially declare it the most delicious fish I've ever cooked under such conditions. Juicy. Not dried out, not burnt, perfectly smoked. Just look, it's perfect. The taste of smoke, the smell. And ever since, eucalyptus wood has become my favorite for smoking fish. I assure you, you need to try it. If eucalyptus grows in your region, definitely try smoking fish or meat on this wood. It's a delight. You just need a big mug of cold kvass to accompany this fish. Very tasty, seriously, like in the best restaurant. Oh, it turned out so delicious. I had a couple of limes left, so I added their juice and used salt for the smoked fish. Salt is definitely important in smoking. Juicy taste, rich aroma. It's just difficult for me to describe it in words. I wish I could somehow transmit this taste to you through the screen. I know you're eating too, friends, so let's all enjoy our meal together. It's a delight. Well, friends, this survival experience was very interesting, and most importantly, as usual, very tasty. I managed to survive in the forest for 24 hours and find food and water for myself. And if you enjoyed this video, only then give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. See you soon.